Hello, everybody. Hope we're all doing well. What's up, Zan? Good day, sir.
Hello, Jake. You know what? Every time you do that, I get the urge to interrupt you, right, as you're ramping up. Because I know...
One day you need to, and I'll just be like angry the rest of the podcast.
No, I just know that'll derail the intro for like 15 minutes.
I know, because if you guys, welcome back, by the way, to Esports Rewind Podcast,
hello.
number 14, my favorite number, dude. And with that, every time I intro, I have to like prepare myself for what I'm going to say.
It's fascinating to watch.
Because it's not like a usual video where I'm just like, this one I have to be like, okay, you know, it's got to be suitable. I don't know. It's weird to explain, but welcome, Zan.
Hey, thank you very much, Jake.
I'm glad you're on the show yet again for a 14th straight episode. We're still searching for other guests if anyone wants to come on. But some crazy stories as per usual if you guys are new or coming back. We're going to try and read some comments in the future if you guys do want to leave one. We talk about the upcoming news, mostly though the crazy news that happens the past week before, and we've had some seriously crazy stories. So let's hop into it, Zan. Why don't we?
Let's do it.
Let's roll with it. All right, Xanifer. So this might be a story that you've heard of a little bit, but it's resurfaced as well. That's going to be around the guy named PhantomL0rd. Have you heard of the man?
I've heard the name very vaguely.
Okay, so you know the whole CSGO Lotto stuff with CSGO?
Yep.
That was a few different guys, but CSGO Shuffle and other scams were what PhantomL0rd was known for,
for sure.
As well. Just as equally as big and problematic, I would say, because he scammed tens of thousands of dollars out of little kids' pockets. So it's a pretty well-known case for CSGO people.
Right.
I think
so pretty trash.
Yeah, I think a general point that people do make is that he's pretty guilty. He was actually banned permanently off Twitch for doing so. Because when he was scamming these kids, he was actually doing it on Twitch's platform.
So he'd be like showing, you can win.
Pretty much, he was live streaming on their platform while scamming people, and so they of course they banned him permanently for life. Not until recently, though. Actually, this past few days, it was actually Dingledurper, his ex-girlfriend, who apparently came forward with a Twitter video, talking about how, hey, there's this court hearing coming up. You know, it's gonna be with a bunch of Twitch execs talking about TOS, that kind of stuff. And so people thought, okay, you know, and she was pretty much telling her viewers to show up to this court hearing to hear more about Twitch and their TOS, which at a face value you think, perfect, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear from Twitch.
Like when I first heard this, I was like, we've had a lot of issues this past few weeks. I would love to hear about it.
It's been a rocky year.
But what people found out after just a little bit of digging, because she revealed the dates, the location, she lives in the same city still as PhantomL0rd, she was trying to get her viewers, without even mentioning his name, to show up to his court hearing. And pretty much it almost be in support of him. I don't know what she was else trying to get out of it. She pretty much was, in my eyes, trying to trick her viewers to come to the PhantomL0rd court hearing and trying to pass it off not as his court hearing, but as a way to find out more about Twitch.
Okay, got you.
And because he was banned by Twitch, that's what the hearing is about. It's actually his lawsuit with them going on right now. Currently, I think it was the 13th and the 14th. Obviously, right now is past that. So
is he suing for being banned?
I'm not totally sure about the lawsuit. I would maybe assume that I think he is, because they banned him, and he thinks unrightfully so, because he had a contract with them, but they banned him because he was streaming on the platform while scamming people.
Right.
And so it kind of blows a lot of people's mind, because we now have years later, after these two were dating and he was caught scamming people, they eventually break up, and people hope that she had gone off on her own way.
Right.
But now she's back years later, still defending the guy, still apparently thinking he belongs on Twitch after scamming people. So it was a weird story. If you guys had followed it, it would make a lot of sense. I know it's kind of hard to explain to someone like you.
No, I mean, it makes sense to me so far. I'm just wondering what her angle is here.
She gets nothing out of it, and I'm just really curious if it is true.
There's got to be something. There's got to be something.
That's why people still think they might be in a relationship still. They might be more than friends, because why else would you do this?
Right.
It just, she gets nothing out of it, and it surprises a lot of people how you can still be either one, that scummy, or two, that idiotic to still support this guy years later when you know fully well what he did.
Yeah, he must have really been telling her some like.
Oh man, if you had seen
some like wrapping it around like, oh well, you know, the kids were actually scamming me.
The kids got me banned, honey, so I scammed them.
Yeah, I was just trying to. It was justice. I swear.
PhantomL0rd got his revenge, and then you got. Wow, we could really twist this story. Apparently, he's been twisting it to her. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but that just a freaking people, man. They make me angry. Hopefully, you have some better news.
Well, actually, I do have a good story this week.
Okay,
not quite yet.
We'll hear it next then.
Yeah. All right, now I know I said I had a good story, but we need to.
Dude, but we need so fast. Holy freak.
But we do need to touch on some not so great stuff.
So we'll warm into it. Okay, I'm down.
We'll work our way up to it. And I know we were just talking about money being stolen from people, so let's talk about Apex's
let's carry it on.
Loot boxes.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
They are okay. So for those of you who don't play Apex and haven't heard about it, basically in the new event, they have this system in place where you have to buy loot boxes, like it's mandatory in order to get the skins.
To get the items in the collection.
You get 2 for free, although it takes like a lot of grinding to get those 2 free loot boxes. You can earn
those 2 free ones if you play quite a bit. Yeah.
But then beyond that, for all the new event items,
the 22 other items in the collection,
you have to spend $7 per loot box.
$7 a pack.
Yeah, and then after you've bought every other item, all 22 other loot boxes, they give you permission to spend more money
on the heirloom axe.
Ooh, shiny.
And I'm not really sure that some said $10. I heard other people say $28. I mean, either way, they're pretty much you have to buy 24 items in order to receive permission. Hey, you can now buy this final item after what the frick?
Yeah. In total, that's I think the last number I saw was $170.
Yeah, that's what roughly. I saw too.
Yeah,
I mean, it's insane.
Yeah,
at the
it's
very
kind
end
of ridiculous.
I mean, there's so many issues because now I see comments about microtransactions are now they're not micro, okay? They're not small.
Oh, definitely not. This is a macro. That's 2 full-priced games.
We are turning the tide. That is a great way to put it. That is that's almost 3 full-price games.
Getting close to it, yeah.
$170. That's almost 3 EA titles all within one collection in an EA game, which is already struggling in itself. And that's just crazy to me that after all of that, if you spend let's say $150, they couldn't give you the axe for free.
Right, yeah.
No,
they couldn't have been like,
again.
oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate you supporting the game. Here's an axe.
It's just, it baffles me.
It's, you know what? After I saw this whole situation, right, yesterday, we were talking about it briefly, I went and I read a bunch of research papers on loot boxes. Right?
Oh, yeah, you did tell me about that. Yeah.
I just had to know.
After all this, Zan, as expected, was pissed off.
I was
anything
furious.
Loot crate, anything loot box.
I wasn't mad at all loot boxes. I was just mad at the Apex ones. Yeah. And now I'm mad at all loot boxes. Because after reading up on it.
Yeah. Is this the same story or is this
this is into it? The same name.
Zan found some freaking stuff.
There is
on cases, loot crates, boxes, whatever you want to call them. So hit it up. What?
So this is from a research paper on loot boxes specifically, and just to give context, they did a really broad survey of the final number, I believe, was 7,422 submissions that were accepted. There were about a little over twice that number of submissions sent in, but of course this was a proper scientific study, and all of those other submissions were discarded as non-reliable for one reason or another.
Which I will say really quick, 7,000 to 8,000 people is still pretty freaking big number for a study like this.
So more than fair to call it a large, broad survey.
There's definitely some factual basis around this study. So what'd you find out, Xanifer?
Yeah, so loot boxes at base level are linked to problem gambling, and linked more closely than the things that people always say, the really bad things that people are always like, yeah, don't do this. It leads to problem gambling, like alcoholism, getting addicted to alcohol, getting addicted to drugs and depression. Loot boxes specifically have a closer tie to problem gambling than all of those.
Which is a wicked statement.
Yeah, not other microtransactions too. The research paper did address this. There is a correlation between other microtransactions and problem gambling, but much smaller. Much smaller.
It's really weird in terms of how they do these kind of things. They can't say a direct correlation, but the thing is there is a relationship between opening loot crates and what causes problematic gambling down the line.
Yeah, at the end of the day, in this paper specifically, they do mention more research does need to be done. But
obviously,
the general conclusion was that they don't know for sure if it's loot boxes attract more problem gamblers or loot boxes are a breeding ground for problem gamblers.
Okay.
But one way or another, they're intertwined in a way that other things are not and should not be.
And I think, obviously it's a huge issue, but I think where people usually, because we see a lot of backlash even when people say that, because a lot of people that watch us, there's only going to be a small few who have had real issues. Like,
of course, yeah.
You hear those stories of kids who spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, if not of their parents' dollars, doing this kind of thing. And that's generally not you guys watching.
Yeah.
But that does not mean it's not a huge issue. The fact that it could cause those things down the line for a lot of people watching.
Yeah,
which is really worrying when we think about it.
This is one of those things where, like, addiction is something that I don't know that you can actually understand addiction until you've either been super, super close to someone who has a bad problem,
or gone through yourself.
Or you actually have gone through the problem and, like, consciously realize that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you know what? What's fascinating to me? I was thinking, why do we have loot boxes, right? And I was thinking, okay, obviously, because, this is one of the ways for devs to monetize their games and actually make them profitable. Apex Legends profits were down 74% in the past months. Like, obviously, they need to make money, right? So I looked up, okay, what games have loot boxes? Is this like a smaller developer thing too? And for the most part, I was able to find less than 50 games, like, that are like actual major titles, and they're all from huge companies for the most part. Like, it's all the Overwatches, it's the FIFAs, it's the
CSGOs, it's the whatever it might be.
It's games that would do fine without preying, like, using this. Everybody knows it's a predatory system for funding their games. It very specifically, deliberately takes advantage of people.
Yeah, and when you put it like that, though, to a certain degree, when you are a big company and you have a big game, you also can get away with things that smaller games cannot.
Oh, yeah, definitely. All I'm saying is that I now am in full support of loot box ban. We don't need them. They don't. They really don't do anything, because So what do we, the consumer, get out of having loot boxes? Okay,
get the rush, man. You spend money.
We could still have that.
No, I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying that because so few people that probably watch in general in gaming don't have those issues.
Right.
If you are all of a sudden anti-loot box, you're going to have tons of people flooding you because they like loot boxes because they don't have an issue. They can buy one a year, two a year, whatever, small amount per year, and they're like, I'm in control.
Right.
So people that are not in control, that's not my fault, which I understand.
Yeah,
so it's kind of a neutral ground. I'm not fully anti-loot box, but I do think this could be a movement towards item shops.
Yeah, I think
more selective.
I would love to see that.
Yeah. And are you okay with item shops as compared? Like, are you okay with settling for that?
Comparatively, I think item shops and other forms of microtransactions are much less predatory. Like, this is just one specific one that you find in very specific places that very specifically hurts a lot of people.
Yeah.
That, for realistically speaking, does nothing for us as consumers. Like, we don't get anything out of loot boxes versus an item shop. It's always bad.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because you could have something like loot boxes in so many ways without anything potentially tying it to the gambling aspect.
And I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to have both sides of things, because when it comes to a game, at least like CSGO and other games that have these markets, because, and yes, there could be other implementations that do this, but because there are loot crates that give rarities to certain weapons and skins, it creates a marketplace around a game which can flourish a game incredibly. CSGO exists to a certain degree because it had a gambling scene and because it has a huge trading scene and there is value in its items because they come from loot crates. So I will have that one defense. If there can be some other method that exists alongside item shop that can still have that flourishing ability, I'm all for it. But there are several games that exist the way they do because of loot crates and their rarities.
I think that's very worth taking into account. And I'm not saying I hate CSGO or I hate Overwatch or anything like that. I just feel like,
you just hate Blizzard and Valve.
No, honestly, I don't. Although I don't like either of those companies.
Yeah,
or EA in particular,
or Riot.
Or most game developers at this point.
Stop.
But
I'm with you.
Overwatch made $1 billion off of just loot boxes. I think they're fine without making that much money. I think
it would be worth it in the future if a game is becoming big again under a new developer or a current one. I think it'd be worth looking into a new development, whether it's an item shop, whether it's not an item shop or not a loot crate, and a common ground where you can still have a marketplace somehow.
Yeah.
And I'm all down for. I think it would be worth the risk to have a new implementation that no other game has. Like, we're not going to force you to buy loot boxes. We're not going to give you a selection of items that you want to buy. Something else we haven't thought of yet.
Yeah. Something for actual researchers to take a look at.
I think in the future, all of this will get better. It's definitely an issue.
I don't know.
With all the anti-loot box stuff going on, with all the regulations being the transparency, I think in the way future, this stuff does get regulated and it does get in a better direction. It's only a matter of time. It's a matter of how long. It could be forever. Zan, we've had updates on the show quite a bit about this. This one kind of just disturbs me. Really quick update, guys. It's Echo Fox situation all over again. The situation does continue, and it sucks. It could be Rick Fox apparently out of Echo Fox now. I'm sure you've seen the headlines. 83.3% of investors or limited partners now apparently want him ousted from his role in the organization. If we would have had this discussion 2 months ago, I mean, obviously when it first broke, Rick said he was threatening to leave.
Right. Yeah.
But him threatening to leave and then staying, and then if I would have told you, they're gonna push him out. Like, he was the one who threatened to leave at first, and now they're threatening to make him leave. This story has flip-flopped more than I can even recall.
Yeah.
And it's
all
crazy.
weird though. Like, it's really, really weird in the sense that, like, even like reading the leaked email, it kind of felt like the investors had been told that Rick was on a completely different page.
It seems like no one knows who is doing what.
Yeah. Because they were all like, oh, Rick wants to do this other thing, and we don't want that, so we got to kick him out. Not like, hey, let's call Rick and be like, Rick, is this what's going on?
And meanwhile, Rick is on an intervie saying that the investors are on his side.
Right.
And that Amit Raizada is doing so-and-so. And the investors are like, wait, no, we're trying to get rid of – I don't know.
Yeah.
And it amazes me, too, because the story – we were talking about this earlier. If it was with any other organization that had more relevance now besides the fighting game community or the LCS spot that they don't they're not going to have – if this was a Liquid or a Cloud9, Fnatic, anyone, this story would be blowing up. Like, Rick's a big figure, but I feel like no one even knows this story because very few people are giant fans of Echo Fox. I don't mean to offend people, but I wish our stories got more traction because this story is legitimately insane.
No, yeah. I mean, it has so many implications for esports overall. Like, especially with the way, like, now that Riot has taken their spot and is like, okay, we're taking this spot. We're selling it now. We're going to take some of the money.
And they're like, it's been so long since this first occurred. It's been months.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what the future does hold because, like you said, implications are going to be imminent.
Wild.
What's going to happen to Echo Fox if Rick's not there? What's going to happen to Rick in esports based off all these allegations against him now? We'll keep you guys updated on that. But a crazy story. Rick Fox could be out of Echo Fox.
Yeah. Well, we talking about people leaving esports. Let's talk about moving more into esports. Getting more involved, getting more invested. Some
you sound
good news.
Happy. Yes.
Good news. Yeah, I don't know that I actually am happy, but
Yo, that was deep. I feel that, dude.
Yeah, because this is one of those stories where sure it's cool, but what is it? Is this actually good long term? I don't know. But anyway, so Kellogg's.
Wow, did not expect you to say Kellogg's.
Yeah, right.
Throwback to middle school cereals. Okay, hit me.
Yeah, Kellogg's is an overall brand, has announced, or not really even announced, they're low-key been we're shifting a lot of the money that was going to sports advertising over to esports.
Heck yeah, I'm down. Whoa.
Yeah, which is huge.
First of all, it's a healthier food. It's not healthier. What are they? It's cereal, right?
You were about to say Pringles.
Yeah, it's not Pringles.
Kellogg's is Pringles.
No, get the frick out.
Yeah.
Is it actually?
Yeah, this Pringles just signed a deal with the LEC. Yeah, Kellogg's.
They're owned by Kellogg's?
Yeah, that's a Kellogg's deal.
Yo, frick, I don't know these kind of... God dang it.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't... You read my mind. If I said half of it, I was going to say, at least it's not like the unhealthy partnerships like Pringles. I think it was KFC or something that just partnered with FaZe.
Like that. Yeah.
Not KFC. It was a fast food chain.
Some random brand.
God dang it, Kellogg's. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
And you know what? It's... In the brief interview they did had some really interesting tidbits, really small things. They're like, hey, they feel that traditional sports don't offer the same kind of reach when it comes to accessing the younger generation. And they specifically, which I was like, okay, good. That's a cool sentence. And then immediately afterwards, it was especially the ones in 21 to 34-year-old age group who have high incomes. And I was like, what? But I mean, thinking about it, if you look at, if you know anything about Twitter analytics, our audience makes bank somehow, or they all have houses.
Our audience, Pringles, fits right in the 21 to 34 category.
No, yeah, and they all they have high.
And you did say, sorry. Yeah. He showed me our demographic, and yes, we actually have some very wealthy viewers.
Yeah. Obviously, we're not looking at people and going okay, Bob over there, he's making $500K.
Yeah, we're not. No. It's a general.
The information is very, very vague, very much.
If you're watching this and you're poor, we understand where you're coming from.
I mean, we're definitely not rolling in it like
we're
that.
We're not in our own demographic.
Yeah.
But sorry, I keep on interrupting. This is a very
you're good.
Topic.
Yeah.
So Pringles be like, yo, okay, we couldn't target 21 to 34-year-olds through football, so hey, Fortnite, which is weird, or other esports probably.
Low-key, that makes a lot of sense, because I was thinking about, okay, where do I actually see football, and where do spending opportunities for football come into play, right? And where people are spending money on, like, I'm just using football as a general example, right? But because that's huge here in America, and I mean American football, not soccer. Yeah.
Yo, people like these guys are idiots.
I follow
you.
yeah. I just want to be sure we're on the same page.
Because you're gonna offend somebody.
Yeah. Anyway, like you go to a football party, and you don't go to a football party and everybody there doesn't like be like, oh, I'm gonna throw money because I saw a Pringles ad. I'm gonna go buy some Pringles. You know, there's one person who might maybe buy some Pringles, but esports is very much more like everywhere. You got it on all the time. You're playing the games actively,
and you're playing it, I would say, almost in a setting like a lot of us watch it on our own. Like you're in your own chill zone. Like, I want some Pringles right now.
It's more of a snacking environment.
That's a good way. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you'd almost think as well, the way that Kellogg's is doing, I should say not Pringles, Kellogg's is doing this is the untapped 21 to 34-year-olds.
Yeah, definitely.
How many of you guys maybe watch American football or football in other countries or whatever sport it is, but nothing else? You maybe watch one traditional sport, but you watch a lot of different gaming events. You're the untapped market that they don't get to in traditional sports, so they come over here and say, "Yo, what's up, nerd?
Yeah, can we make something happen?
Pringle.
Like throw an elbow. No, it was good." But anyway, I wanted to get your opinion on this because I read this and I had no idea what it meant. But
then I'll definitely know. I'm a scholar, very intellectual here.
Okay, so apparently millions of Pringles cans across Europe will sport a unique code that players can redeem to take part in a raffle to win rare characters to use in the game.
What game?
I'm assuming League of Legends, since they're sponsoring the LEC.
Oh, that's actually very cool.
Right. But
that's really cool.
Yeah, and they said Kellogg's is hoping its decision to allow people to use the code to redeem characters that have been retired and therefore are unavailable swells its cachet among the notoriously advertising adverse gaming audience. And I was thinking,
that back half I didn't understand because retired what?
Retired characters? Like, what is that even? Is that a thing in League? Do characters get vaulted? Or whatever.
Skins. Now League of Legends people are gonna hate us.
Right. Yeah.
I don't follow the skin game. Like I play ARAM or I play TFT now as well. But I believe some skins get taken away.
Yeah, but like it very specifically.
But the way they say retired
players, characters. They were talking about characters. Well, they say allow people to use the code to redeem characters that have been retired.
So I imagine they mean the skins of those characters.
Hopefully.
League of Legends people, please help us out.
Yeah.
But besides the point,
yeah,
that is a great that is
super smart.
If you're a diehard fan and you love Pringles, you are guaranteed going to get Pringles. Like,
at least one can.
There's no other way around it. People will pay 10, 20 more than that dollars for a skin. Of course, they're gonna go buy Pringles and maybe get a skin out of it.
Yeah, right. Like just eat.
That's genius.
Yeah, you just have some Pringles and you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I get a retired player that I don't really know what this is. So. That's genius. Is there anything else to that, or?
No, I mean it's interesting to hear about.
I hope we see more unique things like that.
Yeah, I mean I guess there's probably been stuff like that in the past. Like I could swear I've bought like a Game Fuel or something and got like a Destiny 2 emblem or something.
Yeah, for sure if CS:GO did that, buy a freaking a Kickstart and get a code for a skin. Right, I know dozens of people myself that would do that. So I hope we get to see more not only healthier brands enter, but do things like that benefit everyone involved as well. That's really cool.
Yeah.
The Dota International TI9 is here, Zan. And with it, I have a very quick story for you. Their prize pool has now been solidified at $33 million.
Okay, for sure.
Not bad, right?
Yeah, that's solid.
I think it was around $25 million last year, so to see that increase is pretty freaking wild.
No, yeah.
Why I bring it up is because just a month ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we had the record set for a single esport event at $30 million for the Fortnite World Cup.
Yeah.
And, 15 days later, a new record set at $33 million. And you think we're in an esports bubble, Zan? Are you stupid? There's no way.
See, yeah. I honestly, I've been thinking about this a little bit. Because I know everybody is like screaming at Valve that I've seen anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, why are you doing this for CSGO? Why aren't you moving? Why is this not like a general thing for esports tournaments? Why are more tournaments not crowdfunded in one way or another, right? And I feel like part of the reason they aren't is because companies like Valve are worried about popping the bubble perhaps. or worried about say the international raises $33 million and Valve decides next year, okay, well, yeah, we're gonna do the same thing for like, I don't know, like a Star Ladder major or whatever, right? And it only gets like $5 million, let's say. That's obviously $5 million is still a lot of money.
Yep.
But that could be viewed as a failure in so many different ways.
That's the way I see it too.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden people are again, but then you try to think about, okay, you only raised this much money this year. Does that really mean? To me, in terms of Dota, I always thought, especially for this year, I did not think they would be breaking records. And so I always have that worry, and I'm not even a player, but I have that worry that by doing this, you publicly show whether or not your game is thriving or dying.
Yeah, very much so.
And I really worry about them implementing it now at a time where CSGO is huge, because when TI first started, I believe, now again, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I believe the first one they ever started with was like around 1 million, maybe a couple million more than that. They started at a very, very low, compared to now, place.
Right.
If CSGO were to come in and say it now, I feel like they would have to cap it in some way, because the first one would be tremendous, then you really set yourself up, as you said, for failure if you do pop that bubble. So I was kind of joking about the esports bubble thing. I still do think we're in one, but it is nonetheless. Besides, I don't know if anyone else should ever go crowdfunding, but it seems like a lot of people want it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's alternative paths to crowdfunding. Like I think like
crowdfund with a cap or something.
Yeah, like have like a viewer pass and say, hey, purchases,
which we already have.
Yeah, but like say purchase from this goes towards the pot or something, like five out of $10 goes to the pot.
Put more out of your pocket, because we do have a viewer pass already. Valve is putting $1 million for a major, and their profit or revenue last year was hundreds of millions.
Yeah, obviously.
It's like you have it to spare.
That's just
it's tilting, right?
Okay, yeah, no. Let's talk about loot boxes for 5 seconds.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
All of these companies.
Oh yeah,
none of them can ever say that they are broke and desperate for money in my book, because like if you look at how much the game costs to make and maintain, those numbers are dwarfed by the profits they bring in, especially large games like CS:GO or like Fortnite or Overwatch. There's like Overwatch. I was looking at the numbers for that. Development cost was estimated like around 200 mil, easily broken.
Yeah,
they were at $1 billion.
Fortnite makes billions.
Easily
off of an item shop.
Yeah.
Which they've
Yeah.
So I don't know. My initial point was not even.
I know. On thing is like partial. Like all these companies could afford to put more into their tournaments.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it is kind of crazy that we've now broken esports records. 33 million for a single event.
Yeah, it's wild.
And the first place team, 15 million. I know they have a lot of staff for Dota teams, but if you do just take the 5 players, they all just made as much as Booga did. So pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, and hopefully they get to keep more of it. All right, so I don't usually watch Twitch. I don't like, I'm just not, it doesn't suit my lifestyle. Live streaming just doesn't work for me.
That's fine.
Right? I'm not,
I understand.
Right? But anyway, I saw a really interesting Twitch clip. Actually, like literally this morning from Seagull talking about
the lad.
Yeah, talking about the rash of Overwatch players we've seen retiring this
year. Yeah. We never got to talk about this.
Yeah. And
it was pretty crazy.
The entire time this has been going on, people have been saying, "Oh, they make too many balance changes to the game," right? And that made no sense to me, because Overwatch gets like a major character balance change, like maybe every 2 months or so, which seems like
they do make a lot of PvE changes.
Yeah. Then, of course, like
smaller meta changes.
Yeah, PTR type stuff, right? Like that's.
Sorry, PvE.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I don't know what the Overwatch version
sorry, they
is.
all mesh together. For me.
It's all the same kind of system.
Yeah.
But anyway, 2 months sounds like, obviously, that's a little bit, but other games update just like that, totally fine, more frequently even, and people are totally fine with it.
Are you saying you didn't believe Seagull?
No, I'm saying Seagull explained it and now it makes sense.
Oh, okay. Because I did see a similar clip that he's actually had multiple clips explaining it, and I was like, wow, okay, sorry.
No, I've seen a couple explanations. I don't know if I've seen one from him, but this is like one that actually, I was like, okay, now it kind of makes sense. I don't know if I'm still on board with it entirely, but I can kind of see where they're coming from, at least.
For sure.
Yeah, where he compares other esports, like he breaks down CSGO, and he kind of explains it as such. CSGO has many maps and a few balance changes. Dota and League of Legends has one map, and they have several balance changes, like every couple weeks type business.
Yep.
And Overwatch has a problem where they have many balance changes on many maps.
Yep.
And the combination of the two is what messes with pros, because apparently the meta changes on a map-by-map basis for every balance change. And now I'm like, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I get it.
And then even further, especially compared to games like CSGO, you have the amount of heroes, champs, whatever you do want to call them, for Overwatch as well.
Yeah, 31 heroes, I think 31
Which
now.
You could compare to League of Legends or Dota, but even compared to a game like CSGO. CSGO, for pros, it's still a stressful occupation, but comparable. When you put it like that, when you put those words into I was like, wow.
Right, yeah.
A very simple explanation.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you add on to that away and home games and actual franchise league and everything else that's on top of being a pro, and it just makes a lot of sense.
I can see how it would be a mess, and I think part of that, bear with me, I think part of that probably just means the league needs to manage itself better, and it's not so much a problem with the game so much as it is the league and how they do things. Because maybe I was thinking about this, and I was like, do we need to have a really random map pool for Overwatch? There are so many maps. I think we're almost at 25 maps in a game.
It is a lot.
And if this is being called out as such a problem, because obviously I didn't get it because I'm not an Overwatch pro, right? But obviously the pros must have been trying to communicate this for a good minute, and I don't think anybody would really, really aggressively mind if, say, they made it so you get two maps. These are going to be your control maps. These are going to be your payload maps that we play competitively. Maybe change the maps once per competitive season or something. So it stays a little fresh, but you aren't running into this problem as extensively.
I think something has to be done, just clearly because when you compare numbers of Overwatch pros compared to other pros scenes, especially the top level, it's pretty crazy to see what a franchise league has done to retirement. People are retiring just after they turn 20.
It's
pretty freaking crazy.
Kind of insane. I was really confused because what's wrong with all these people that they're or what's going on behind the scenes that all these people want to head out?
Is it a thing where if one retires, everyone else feels I can go.
Yeah.
One person speaks up and they're like, I can retire too. Heck yeah, I'm out of here as well. I don't know. It certainly was weird, especially after watching videos about it, how you see so many pros go.
Yeah.
In such a pretty limited amount of time. And so, I don't know. I feel like there are definitely esports out there that are comparable, though, and you don't see the same retirement rates. So I think it's a kind of a mix of, pros either need to adapt in that scene, or, yes, like you said, the league or the game itself needs to change to more suit to the players. Or you're going to have people that say, you're a pro player. You put up with this kind of stuff. If you want to be the very best, suck it up. If you don't, go home. Which they are going home, by the way.
Admittedly, if you look at any major sports, no pro athlete is happy all the time.
Yeah.
They have to put up with a lot of nonsense, right?
Tons of money.
Really bad diets that not bad, bad, good for your body, but horrible tasting food and smoothies and stuff to maintain shape to a certain extent.
I didn't understand that kind of thing. If I had to live over it, guys, don't take offense. If I had to live in an Asian country, I don't do it well with Asian cuisine. Legitimate Asian cuisine, I probably couldn't live there.
Yeah.
So I understood that part of the argument for at least the Chengdu guys.
Yeah, the Chengdu.
They're in LA.
Yeah.
They hate the food. Understandable.
Which, admittedly, America's food is so much lower in different in quality in certain ways that I can definitely understand that.
Yeah.
And real quick, sidebar, just to lighten things a little bit. So, this will be a brief story.
Okay, hit me with it.
Yeah, I just think you'll find it funny. So I spent about 20 days in China, back in middle school or so, right? Went with a group of people. Obviously, you stay in China for 20 days, you're going to be eating Chinese food.
Heck yeah,
that's the
actual
deal.
Chinese food.
Right? Yeah. We're not just going to we're going to have Papa John's every day.
Mickey D's.
No, yeah, right. Although their Pizza Hut is way better than ours, not going to lie.
Okay. Sidetrack.
Yeah, but anyway, so there is this girl on the trip who went on the trip and did not tell anybody that she was really bad with Chinese food.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, and did not come home.
She almost didn't.
I mean, to be fair, maybe
Jake, it got bad. I was sitting next.
Did she not realize how real Chinese food was?
I don't know. Because we very specifically went out of our way to have authentic Chinese food before we went to China.
Yeah. Right.
To make sure everybody was cool with it and all that. To a certain extent, anyway. I mean, food is food. Just eat it, right? But anyway, we're on the plane back. She's looking like literal death. Like a zombie straight out of Resident Evil, right? It is creepy as heck. I thought I was going to die on that plane.
Jesus
but turns out she just didn't eat.
Oh, what the
For like probably like 75% of the time we were there.
Yo, ask for some saltines or something.
Yeah,
My
right?
God.
We were in hotels. The hotel breakfast was like eggs and toast and stuff.
No.
And she just didn't eat because she's like, Chinese food is bad. I can't eat that.
Jesus.
She almost died.
God, well, thanks for the side. So obviously, there's a lot of reasons why, and I understand with a few players, especially when it comes when you list it all out, the meta changes, the map changes, the amount of heroes in the game itself. Alongside that, all the travel time, being in a city where you don't even want to live in, the food. That's a lot of reasons to hate what you're doing if you're not making what you think is a reasonable amount of money. Which I'm not saying
definitely.
They have decent salaries, but is it worth doing it if it's going to affect your health so much?
Yeah, for sure.
I understand with it. Things need to be changed. Most likely, we'll see if these retirements do continue though in the future.
Okay.
Oh, dude, you were excited there.
Yeah.
Randy watch.
Randy watch.
Randy watch. Randy watch. Okay, ready?
All right, yeah, this is gonna be like real brief one, just because I feel like this is something that's being brought up more in actual news cycles, right? Which I find fascinating. Yeah. And the fact is, Randy Pitchford has kind of almost made buying Borderlands 3 a moral decision, as opposed to do you like the game or not? Because like he has all this nonsense that he's done, and he's very public as the CEO.
Yep.
Pushed all this BS, right? And now, so I have a tab in TweetDeck that's just Randy Pitchford.
He does.
So anytime anybody mentions Randy Pitchford on Twitter, I get
Zan will see it.
Shows up in my tab, and all day, every day, it'll just be somebody talking about, like, it'll be the initial post will be like a PC gamer saying, "Oh, here are all the best games we saw." All the best guns from the latest Borderlands 3 gameplay demonstration. And like the first comment afterwards would be like, "Is there a gun that makes Randy Pitchford a decent businessman?"
I saw one the other day where it's like it's a random Borderlands 3 post that does very well, and there's always those people with a ton of likes that are like, "Remember that one time Randy bought his phone and played child pornography at a Christmas at a company Christmas party?"
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Wait," because there's always those newcomers. They're like, "Who and why? What?"
Yeah. It's just insane to see, like, literally every single piece of Borderlands news is followed by, "Please fire Randy, get rid of Randy."
Yep.
Or people saying, "I would buy it, but Randy's involved, so I can't." Or, "I will pre-order it right now if Randy Pitchford gets fired." Or and realistically speaking, I can't, I think I'm kind of in that boat because I know Randy already made his money. He already took that $12 million off the top from the company.
Yeah, he did.
Redirected it into his own company. So, I mean.
Are you on the fence now? Are you not going to get it just because of Randy?
Oh, well.
I know you really want it, so.
Yeah, heck no, I'm not
buying it. You just called it a moral decision, and now you kind of want it.
And now I'm not going to buy it.
Okay.
No, actually, y'all can check my Steam library. I will never own a copy of Borderlands 3.
All right, because I'm considering just buying it just to, I don't know, support the fiasco that's going on over there.
Yeah, I mean, low-key, I don't...
Oh,
no. I was about to say, like, I don't even know if the game's going to be that good.
I'm going to gift you one on Steam. People are going to see it in your inventory. Yo,
then they'll also see 0 hours played.
Is that all for Randy Watch?
Yeah, I mean, more or less. I mean, it's just more people going like, "Yeah, I would love it to buy it. I'd love to support the devs."
People are catching on. We'll see what happens with that.
Watch out for our Randy video the day Borderlands 3 comes out.
Yes. We're going to do an exposing of Randy.
Not even, he's already been exposed.
Exactly.
It's going to be the Randy recap.
Yeah. The Randy recap. All right. You know what? Episode 14, Zan, a pretty darn good one. Anything going on for announcements that you want to talk to the chat about real quick?
Definitely. Keep an eye out. We're going to have merch coming down the line pretty soon in the coming months.
Very limited. We're going to sell 2 of everything so we actually sell out.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else there, Xanafer?
Mateo stuff.
Oh, God, dude. Don't start. You were happy for majority of the podcast.
No, I'll still be happy.
On my side,
it's not doing well, so I'm happy.
Jesus Christ, dude, let it go, man. Ooblets, Ateo.
Yeah, I'll let it go as soon as they start making good clothes.
They're probably not gonna have another release, like ever. Just one page release.
I would die laughing.
Anyway, on my side of things, crazy things do continue. People still saying the N-word, or maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Racist pros continue to be a thing here in esports. Besides that, some more. Just crazy stories. So hope you guys all enjoy episode 14 of the Esports Rewind. My name is Jake. This is Zane/Xanafer, or you can actually call him his real name, Zan. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you then.
Thanks for joining us.